Join us as we dive into the history, hauntings, and high strangeness of the world to try to better understand the paranormal. I will be your guide. I am paranormal researcher and investigator Eric Freeman Sims. Welcome to the Unseen Paranormal Podcast. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Unseen Paranormal Podcast, the return of the Unseen Paranormal. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host as usual, Eric Freeman Sims. And thank you to everybody for sticking around, to our longtime listeners, to all the new listeners who have tuned into the podcast. I just needed a little break, mental health break for the past year. I've been really busy though, doing other things. But I'm glad to bring the show back, and I'm having fun recording these new interviews with different people and having different conversations. It's a lot of fun. But thank you for allowing me that break, and thank you for sticking around to still tune into the show and make it even more successful than it ever has been. So thank you to the longtime listeners. I appreciate y'all so much. And thank you to the new listeners. I appreciate y'all as well. And stick around. We're gonna do lots of fun episodes with new guests. And the format's going to change a little bit. We're going to go to every other Wednesday instead of every Wednesday. Just because I have lots going on. I'm the event coordinator for GoblinCon 2026. I've got writing 2 books right now. The podcast, The Night House, is going strong. So a lot going on there and a lot of things planned there. And so just a lot going on. But if you want to grab a copy of the book, Small Town Haunts and Legends of Tennessee, it is on Amazon, Kindle, Goodreads, Apple Books, all those places online, barnesandnoble.com. You can find it. And if you're interested in The Night House, you can go to The Night House. That is with a K, K-N-I-G-H-T. thenighthouse.ky.com, and check out all the public events that we're doing. If you got a team, you want to rent the house out for private hunt, we have all those dates up through, I believe, March right now. I'm fixing to add a lot more dates. But anyway, that's enough of the business. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We got a fun show for you today with NightSong Paranormal, Buffy and Barbie from NightSong Paranormal. They are a investigative team here in Middle Tennessee, where I'm from. I've known them for quite a few years. Don't know why I've never had them on the show. I love both of them very much. They are so much fun. We always have a blast doing events together and things. And we're looking forward to doing some more events with them over the next coming years. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. All right. We have Barbie and Buffy from NightSong Paranormal. What's up, ladies?
Oh, my gosh. So happy to be here.
Yes, we are. Very happy.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show. I can't believe that. I've never had you on the show, have I?
No. What took you so long?
I don't know. I'm an asshole. I don't know what to tell you. Because I've known y'all for quite a few years now, and I don't know.
Well, we're here now. That's what matters.
I know.
That's right.
And we've been doing some cool stuff together here lately.
I know. I'm just so excited about what the future holds and all of it. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Before we get to all that, let's start kind of at the beginning. I always like to ask everybody how they got into the paranormal. So whoever wants to start, and then we'll go to the other one.
Yeah, so I mean, I lived in a haunted house when I was 6 years old when we moved from New York to Kentucky, and the paranormal had always happened around me, but never to me. It was always my family members, and I would always hear everything that would go on, and I'm like, oh, well, what's wrong with me? And that was my entire life. Everybody would have paranormal experiences, but me. And so that all changed, though. I mean, I loved the paranormal. I researched it, loved it, and then I was very skeptical about it until 2016 when I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the Octagon Hall. I'm going to go down the basement. I'm going to see what this is all about. I'm going to put myself in the pits. Let's go see. And it changed my life. And so ever since that moment, I have been chasing it full force.
That's awesome. It's also because I came from a family who talked about the paranormal and experienced the paranormal. And so I've talked to other people who never had that. Their parents told them to shut up, it didn't exist. So I think we were fortunate to grow up in those families that were kind of honest and open about it.
I think so. Yeah, for sure.
So Buffy, how did you get into the paranormal?
I was the one who was told, shut up, it doesn't exist.
Okay, so the complete opposite, yeah.
Sort of. Well, it was funny. So I grew up on property that did have activity. My next door neighbors experienced more of it alongside me. And things would happen at my house, around me, and it would happen at my next door neighbor's house when I was over there, and they would acknowledge that it would happen.
Yeah.
But it was my parents and my family would go, no, No, that's not an actual thing. My mom will now today acknowledge it more, but yeah, I was the one that grew up with the shut up, it doesn't actually exist. That's not a thing. It was kind of funny, but I was around 8-ish years old. My first experience of full body apparition was my first memory. And I mean, when I say full body apparition, it was a full blown human being that I thought I saw that disappeared. So how lucky was I to get to see an apparition right off the bat? Oh my goodness. And then it's always kind of been a part of me, and I never thought anything of it until I would just see things and I didn't think anything of it, except for my parents didn't want me to sit and talk about it. And then over the years, I know, like, as some of the shows became popular and things, and then as Barbie and I became friends, we would talk about watching some of the shows and all of that. And then fast forward to about 2.5, 3 years ago, Barbie and I talking one day, I had her come over to my house to actually investigate because activity had kicked up here. And then from that point forward, off we go. That's what did it. I joined in as they investigated the house. And that from that point forward.
Yeah. So then you're a part of NightSong.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool when things like are organic like that it just, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't, because even talking to you, I get the sense that it was just kind of organic. It wasn't like an invite or. Oh,
yeah. And it was just, when, Buffy and I, again, we've been best friends for 20 years, and we would always talk about ghost hunters and like, oh, did you watch the latest episode? And over the last, 16 years or 17 years before she joined up with me to go ghost hunting, she knew that I would go on, all kinds of, fun little excursions and things like that. But then when things started happening in her house and she was like, hey, I know that you're linked up with another team, come over here, bring your equipment and see if you can find anything here. And she was like a fish to water, so it didn't surprise me at all, like, because I knew that she had kind of grew up with it around her, and mom was kind of the word with it, but she grew up around it. It didn't scare her. And so, like, she was just natural at it. And I was like, well, I really think you should just come, investigating with me like all the time.
Right.
It really was. I kind of treated it, when I told her what had been happening in my home, I kind of treated it the same as, when you call IT at work and you don't want to sound like yes, I've turned it off and back on again and all of these things. Like, I'm like, yes, I've already tried to see if it's shadow, times of day with shadows. I've tried to recreate these things. I had already been trying to do my own debunking in the house, and I'm like, I can't figure these things out.
Yeah.
I know you've been investigating with a team. I need somebody to come in and help me out here.
Yeah.
And and it was like, and I was like, oh, and by the way, I would really love to join in when you do this because I'm really intrigued.
Yeah, but also to like, have an outside perspective come in too.
Oh yeah,
that's kind of nice to reassure you that you're not fucking crazy.
And that's like half of it is like when we go to like a homeowner, they're like, I think I'm going crazy. Like, I think I need to be put on medication. And we're like, no, you don't. Trust me. If anybody's going to believe you, it's us, Right. So kind of the same thing. That's the same thing. I kind of went in to Buffy's house. I believe you. And I know that you're not crazy. I know, mental sometimes, but you're not crazy.
But we're all
I can
crazy.
say that because we've been best friends.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like, you're not crazy. That's the great thing about it.
Yeah. And that's what I love about doing the show here is that doing the different perspectives. So people hear something that may have happened to them and they think, I'm not going to tell anybody because that just sounds nuts. Like they're going to put me in a nut house. They're going to think I'm schizophrenic or something. And so talking about this stuff, and getting into the deep weeds of it and the crazy experiences that we've had, hopefully helps other people not feel as crazy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we just had a homeowner. This happened probably about a month and a half ago. And he had called and he was like, I think that I'm going crazy. I've never believed in any of this my entire life. Like, I'm a Christian, blah, 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 like Southern Baptist. We were raised not to believe all this. And lo and behold, he wasn't crazy, but there wasn't anything going on his rental property. He had a gas leak. So, I mean, we'll go in and we might not find anything paranormal, but we'll find a gas leak for you,
Right.
So, yeah, he wasn't crazy, but yeah, gas leaks, prolonged exposure to a gas leak or high EMF, it can make you feel crazy for sure.
Yeah, and cause hallucinations and all kind of crazy stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then sometimes you do really run into, especially doing home investigations, you do run into some people with mental health issues too.
For
definitely
sure.
out there. Yeah. One thing I really love about y'all's team is y'all's approach to investigating. For one, what I really respect is that y'all don't have like hard titles for each member, because there's so many teams out there that like, oh, I'm the leader. This person's the tech person. This person's this, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all just seem to organically, I hate keep using that word, but organically just play to each other's strengths, and kind of everybody does everything. And I think that makes a better team, because the teams that I've seen that have that hardcore leader, I'm the founder, I'm the leader, they always implode, it seems like, because somebody wants to be the grand king of everybody and tell everybody what to do, when it's, it's a team effort.
Yeah. Ego can completely ruin everything, and as a leader or founder of a team, you do have to play to the strengths of everybody on your team. You have to be like, okay, you're really good with social media. You're really good with tech. You're really good with computers. You're really good with this. You're really good with that. Use them to the betterment of the team. And it's good to delegate and just trust that the people are going to do what they need to do. Micromanagement has never been my kind of style. Yeah. Ego has never been my style. And so we're a team and we do everything together, so that's just kind of my approach as far as, leading the team. I think everybody plays a very important role.
Yeah. And I'm not stepping on anybody's toes. Like, if that's how you want to run your team, it's fine. There's a lot of teams that end because of that structure.
Yeah.
And I think it's fine to play everybody's strengths, but like, when I've seen y'all investigate, everybody investigates. It's not like, oh, you just have to take care of the tech, or you're just the video person. You're all investigating the same way, but you have your own ways that you investigate as well.
Yeah, and we all jump in and help each other. It's just, we are a team, and it really is that philosophy. I know we always say there's no I in team, but that's how we are. We're all in it together. We're all in the same boat. We all need to row and get ourselves there. So that's how we do it here. And we're good friends. We're close knit, and I think that makes a difference as well.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I like too with, anybody we bring in new on the team, we investigate with them several times, just us as a team, to see how somebody new investigates, because then we can kind of roll with it at events, at other things, to know, okay, how this room is flowing. This is great for, so, when so-and-so steps in, they're going to be able to lead this one great.
Yeah.
We've had so many, some of the videos that we had released from the Night House this week, Cinque, her style of investigating and the way she questions and rolls with it, especially down in the basement playing marbles and stuff, we saw the kind of reaction it was getting, and that flow worked wonderfully for that. And I love that once you see that flow is moving for her, we all just sit back and go, you've got this, go.
Yep. We just sit back and we let her do her thing. And we, if things start to slow down again, then we'll pick back up. That's how a team works. We move together, we flow, we push, we pull, as far as getting responses and things like that. And like Buffy said, Cinque had a hold on it. We sat back and let her just do it.
Yeah. The other thing that I love about investigating with y'all is the authenticity and the energy. It makes me excited to investigate. And the fact that y'all are just authentically you, I think also brings a lot to the table when it comes to the spirits, because y'all are respectful people in general, and you bring that to investigation, and also trustworthy people. So you're not just throwing out BS things as evidence. You're going through a rigorous process to debunk anything you possibly can.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like our first thing. I mean, Buffy will tell you too. It's like, she'll say something to me. I'm like, did you try this? And then vice versa. She'll I'll say something to her. Well, did you try this? It's, it's not that we're questioning each other. It's just, we're keeping that standard of,
Yep.
Hey, you got to make sure that, did you do this? We check mark everything. Yeah. And I mean, maybe we're snobs when it comes to evidence, but I think you kind of have to be, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you do. I think there are people out there that will throw anything and everything out there because not because they're meaning to put out anything fake, but I think there are people that want to believe so much and want to catch evidence so much that they read into stuff and they think that every little thing's evidence, and that's not just teams who are inexperienced, but I think also the general public, because I know like me, y'all have seen online all the orb pictures that are just lens flares that people grasp. That's my grandma. And and I kind of feel bad bursting their bubble. Cause it's like, who am I to say if that's helping their grief, why do I want to burst their bubble? That's not their grandma, or their mom just coming back to them.
Right.
And say hi. So it's hard for me as a skeptic for sure, skeptical believer, as I call myself, to burst that bubble. But at the same time, we have to be like that, especially in our investigations. I think you have to be an evidence snob, like you said.
To that point also, there's so many people out there. This is a pseudoscience. This is something that everyone is still trying to build and prove, and we're forever trying to prove ourselves.
Yeah.
So we don't want to put anything out there that we have not ripped apart.
Right.
Before we put out there, because it's going to get further ripped apart once it's put out there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and especially, I mean, with people who are hardcore skeptics, that they're not going to believe no matter what.
Exactly.
You could show them any, like, the most craziest thing, but they're not going to believe it because they weren't there. They didn't see it for themselves. And you could try and explain it 1,000 ways in one. And they're like, nope, this is movie magic. This is, sleight of hand. This is all made up. And okay, well, that's what you want to think. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is fine. We all have that thing. Every one of us have something that we would never, ever, ever believe unless we were physically there to see it.
Exactly.
Right. I think I'm that way a lot of the time, especially if I don't know the people, because I don't know what their intentions are. And in the paranormal, it's gotten the water's kind of gotten muddied. Not to bore the audience with paranormal world drama, but you got so many people that want to be famous and have a TV show, and that's their goal. And so with that motivation, I'm like questioning, is this real evidence or not? And then Ken Gerhard said something really profound that I thought was really profound in his presentation, one of his presentations at GoblinCon. He said that now he is not even accepting any audio or video evidence, and he's a cryptid hunter, but I thought this pertained maybe to us too, because AI has gotten so good that it wasn't audio, it was video and photography evidence, so pictures and video, because AI is so good now that you can't tell the difference. So he said, as a cryptid hunter, like Bigfoot evidence and stuff, and these videos that are coming out and the pictures, he's like, I'm just not. I want physical evidence. I want DNA. I want footprints. Physical things that he can actually scientifically measure and quantify. And I think I hate that we're moving that way with the paranormal, with ghost hunting, but I think we're going to have to at some point in time. And it'll be one of those things, unless you were there, the one videotaping it, or you were there when it was being taped, or the photo was taken, that people are just going to not pay attention to it.
That's true. Yeah.
He does make a good point. Tyler had said similar at GoblinCon about that, that we're back to a place where, unless you've seen it with your own eyes, that because AI is getting so good at recreating and creating so many things, that we're back to that place that unless you've seen it with your own eyes, that you can't really experience anything anymore unless it's almost like AI has caused us to revert back to, you have to actually see it.
Yeah, kind of back to the old school of Hans Holzer and those investigators who didn't have video and stuff. They they relied on audio, a lot of audio.
Audio, yep.
Yes,
they sure did. A lot of the times, we've kind of started going back to basics, because with all the the new gear and equipment that's come out and the technology and all that, it's so easy to get wrapped up in all of it.
Yeah.
That sometimes just a recorder is all you need, and so it's good to like just strip it all the way down back to where we were, 15 years ago, like recorder and your video camera and maybe a K2. There you go. Voila. You've got a kit, a basic kit. Sometimes if you just go back to basics,
yeah,
you'll catch some really good things.
I've never been big on the technology stuff, especially not apps and all that stuff. I have not caught on to that. And I guess because I'm stubborn in a way too. I'm hard headed. So when I started investigating as a teenager in the 90s, before the TV shows, that's all we had. We didn't even have cell phones back then. So we might have a old school film camera and a little digital recorder with a cassette tape in it. And we had like a VHS.
Yeah.
VHS camcorder.
Yep.
Throw on your shoulder.
Yeah,
right. Reel to reel.
The reel to reel, yeah. The high eights, yeah.
But I'm not quite that old, but
but that caught the best stuff though.
Yeah.
I mean, it really did.
Well, and I have a theory on that too. Because if a cassette, so for audio, if a cassette records magnetically and VHS records magnetically, and we think that EMF is a big part of ghosts and spirits and even residual hauntings, then to me that would be the best thing to catch them, right? Because if they're manipulating magnetic fields anyway, then manipulating this magnetic field on this tape or this videotape, I think would be the best way to do it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think going back, I mean, we just talked about it, the Han Soldiers and the Warrens and all them. I mean, they use those and they caught some good evidence from it.
Don't get me started on the Warrens, but
I know.
Han Soldier,
as soon as I said the Warrens, I said that was the wrong person to even say the Warrens
because no.
But yeah, going back to like Hans and the earlier the grandfathers and godfathers of paranormal. I mean that's what they used.
Yeah, like
magnetic recording.
Well, and we even got to meet one at Goblin Con, Barry Conrad, and he investigated with Barry Taft, who's one of the OG ghost hunters as well. And Barry Conrad became one because the I think it was 1989, the San Pedro haunting out in California. And if any of the audience is familiar, all you have to do is look up San Pedro haunting on Google and look up images. But it's the famous image of the guy hanging in the attic, and he was a photographer. He was just there taking photos, and his camera got taken away from him, and then somehow the string got put around his neck, and they hung him on the ghost hung him on a nail in the attic, and the dude wasn't even a believer. And it's an incredible case, but yeah. So we got to meet Barry Conrad, one of the OGs, and in that case, just has always fascinated me since I was a kid. I think I saw it on Unsolved Mysteries and when I was a kid. Yeah. And so to meet him
that's pretty awesome.
was pretty cool, and pick his brain and talk to him. He's a really nice guy. And we've been kind of skirting around Goblin Con and talking about these awesome people that we got to meet and hang out with. But
gosh, that was awesome.
Yeah, I was glad to have y'all as part of it. And for anybody that didn't make it to Goblin Con, Buffy and Barbie were there, and they did our fact versus fake paranormal evidence. And y'all had some really good examples, and I thought y'all did a great job.
Thank you so much. As Buffy and I were kind of working on our presentation and all of that, we kind of think, okay, so we're either going to be in a room full of paranormal investigators or skeptics. Like it was one or the other. So we were like, okay. So we realized real quick, like about 5 minutes into it, that we were like, okay, we're in a room full of skeptics. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you really have to, rather than going, okay, so not to say that skeptics need anything dumbed down for them, but as a paranormal, like it was more advanced for paranormal investigators. So we really had to just kind of tone it down.
Yeah.
But they did so great. They
did.
That was the best room. They were debunking right beside us through the whole thing. I loved the engagement.
Yeah. I mean, we had them thinking, they were like, oh yeah. Oh, I never really thought about that. Or, we would just stop and be like, okay, somebody explain this to us. Like what about this is fake or real?
Right.
And that's what we thought. I mean, you kind of just knew, like bringing us in. We're very like we love to talk to people and we love to be interactive with everybody. So it wasn't like, we're just gonna point this laser on the screen and we're just gonna read all the words on the screen. No, I mean, we were very animated, and I think they responded very well, and they felt like that they could be a part of it, and we got a lot of interaction. I mean, I loved it. It was great.
I loved, beginning of that workshop, Barbie asked, how many people have been on a paranormal investigation? A few people raised their hands, and then Barbie asked, how many people are interested in paranormal investigating, and no one.
Zero.
No one. Yeah. But, and my first thought that went through my head was, oh shit, they're not gonna,
right.
This is gonna be horrible. But everybody, I mean, from the word go, when we started showing video of different things and how would you debunk this, and look at how we debunked or how we couldn't debunk or anything, or the ones where we could not, it wasn't conclusive. Maybe it was paranormal, maybe it wasn't. There was not a soul in that room that was not engaged.
Yeah.
Like, that's what impressed me, for no one to raise their hands and say, we're interested in paranormal investigating. Everybody in that room became a paranormal investigator. Everybody. And
it was packed. Like, we were like, there's only gonna be like 5 people in this room. and then, but there wasn't, I mean, there were so many people
y'all
there.
Y'all had like 60 or 70 people in there.
It was great.
Yeah.
And so, like, going back to like Buffy's point, it was like, when nobody raised their hand, I was like, why are y'all even here? Did y'all get lost going to the buffet? I mean, like.
Yeah. And since I haven't been on with the podcast, I was the event coordinator for GoblinCon in Hollingsville, Kentucky. And so it was a UFO and Paranormal Expo that took place a couple weekends ago in October. And so we had 2 full days of speakers and workshops and panels, and it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of really good people there. But yeah, it was amazing. I thank y'all so much for being part of it.
Oh, it was an honor. I mean, it really was.
Absolute honor, yes.
We've said that a million times. Like, gosh, it's such an honor to be recognized, and fill the shoes of somebody that we look up to, with Dr. Christy Sumner not being able to be there, and us just kind of coming in and being able to be a part of it. It really was an honor.
Yeah, it was an honor to have y'all there, and thank y'all so much. Yeah, and Dr. Christy, love her. And Miranda got to be there, but Dr. Chris couldn't. And but yeah, it was a great weekend, and I look forward to being a vendor next year, but not in the management role again. So
you're running around with like a chicken with your head cut off.
Yeah. I think I got about 18 hours of sleep in 4 or 5 days. So yeah, it was an insane week, but it was good. And everybody check out GoblinCon for next year. They're gonna have a great lineup, I'm sure. I don't know any. It's just now in the preliminary stages because, like I said, the other one was just over a couple weekends ago. So, but anyway, y'all are the home team for a couple of locations. Maggie Mansion being one of them.
Yes, in Gallatin, Tennessee. Love Maggie. We're actually going to be there on Saturday. You're going to be down the street from us, Eric.
Yeah.
Doing your book signing at Rosemont. So that but that would be cool. Yeah, Maggie Mansion. She's in Gallatin. She's right behind the Stonewall, off of is it East Main, Buffy?
Yes,
right there. Yeah, and it's right down from Rosemont. Great place.
Right off of the square in Gallatin.
It is filled with history. It has been so many different things, from a school to an ironworks facility to a makeshift Civil War hospital to a duplex, and then finally a home. So, I mean, it's been so many different things through the years.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask y'all the question that always annoys me. What makes it haunted?
What makes it haunted? But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the land is really, for me, I think, we've kind of went back to like the land. And just because like somebody dies in a place does not make it haunted, So everybody's like, it's the first question they ask. I mean, Buffy could tell you too. well, who all died here? Like,
Yeah, right.
somebody who died here doesn't mean it's haunted.
Right.
I'm like, no one's died there.
I just want to fuck y'all, see what y'all's answer would be, because I get asked that about the night house all the time. I'm like, what in the
my
hell?
answer is always like the spirits. That's what makes it haunted.
The spirit, and the fact that it was built on, courts and all that stuff. I don't know, but it's haunted. That's all we know.
Well, I've gotten asked that question about the night house by people who are like, well, there was no murders or suicides there. There's no blood and gore. I'm like, no, that doesn't make a place haunted. And so I was just fucking with y'all. That was just a shit question.
Oh, I know. That's
You're throwing us.
I will tell you though, there's one at Maggie. There's one spirit, and I love her. She's sassy, Miss Garrett.
Miss Garrett. Oh yeah.
She's a sassy spirit. She is protective about that house. She is particular about that house. You move a piece of furniture and she doesn't like it, and you know it until you put it back. There was an event over the summer that there were 3 different ones of us at separate times, and no one knew it until the end of the evening, that all got by separate forms of communication about a couch that Jen, the owner of Maggie Mansion, she had moved a sofa to a different spot. And there were 3 separate ones of us that all had different forms of communication that it was not approved of where the couch sofa was relocated to, and that it needed to be moved back.
Yeah.
And at the end of the evening, I found out when I was talking to Jen and I told her about it, she was like, "You are the 3rd person to tell me this."
She was adamant.
Yes. And Miss Garrett, I kid you not, every time I go in that house, I think she likes me because I think she knows I'm extremely OCD also. And so when I come in, I'm pretty sure she's happy to see me, but I hope.
You, Buffy, OCD? You, of all people?
Yeah. Of all people? Never.
As opposed to Frank, who has not particularly liked me until recently there. But, yeah, Miss Garrett is a sassy one there. And that one from July, that one got me. When there were 3 different people that she was like, "You need to tell her now that I'm not happy with this sofa. Get it moved." I mean, it was that thing.
There is something else there that hates with everything it is. It hates a doll. And they brought this porcelain doll in last year. So when we did Talk of the Town, we showed up to set everything up, and there was a doll on the middle of the landing, and Jen is just about as OCD as Buffy is, if not worse, about where she places everything and this and that. And she had placed this doll in Frank's room in the fireplace, and something had picked it up and yeeted it down the stairs. So when Buffy went upstairs to put something up for an event or something, she's like, why is this here? And Jen was only about 4 minutes behind us. She had just left. We had just gotten there. And so I called her and we took a picture of it, and she was like, nope, I left it upstairs. I have no idea why it's there. But anyway, we put this doll in Frank's room, and it ended up back in another room, thrown against the fireplace, and kind of broke the nose of it. So something in Frank's room hates this porcelain doll.
Well, hey, look, like I think dolls are creepy. Why couldn't they back then think they're creepy too? I mean, maybe one of the spirits is like, fuck this doll. It's creepy. I don't want it around here.
Like, yeah. Well, and it's like, why do they pick some dolls but not others? I wonder that.
Yeah.
Like, this is a vessel that I want to use. Like, what?
Yeah. Well, I will walk by like a whole group of dolls, and I'll look at them and I'm like, you're good. You're not you. No. No.
Yeah, ooh, you ugly.
It's not that you ugly. It's that not you. Something with you. No.
U-G-L-Y. You ain't got no.
I can look at a whole group of them, and I'm like, and they're all just pleasantly looking at me, but I will look at like one or two, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, that's a no for me, dog.
I was at Goodwill today, and I always look for creepy dolls at Goodwill for the night house. And I found this homemade sock monkey. And I think it's supposed to be a sock monkey.
What?
But you know what a sock monkey is?
I don't know what the lights in this room I'm in just did, but I'm finding a flashlight. I don't like what you just said, Eric.
It's a homemade sock monkey, but it's bigger, and it's made out of like different cloth, like just random material, almost like quilt-like. And it is the weirdest looking. I need to post a picture because it's the weirdest fucking thing. And I'm like, ooh, I have to have that for the night house because it's just weird. And I don't know what drew me to it.
It called to
you.
It
did. In a way, it did. I was like, oh, I got to have that for $5. Like, you know, like that is coming home with me. And I've never looked. I picked up dolls because, you know, we have the doll room upstairs. If you own a haunted house, you got to have a doll room. But,
yes, of course.
But I've picked up dolls at other places, but I've never had one that I was like, no, I need that. And that's what I felt today. So this thing might be haunted. I don't know. We'll have to see when I put it in the night house. But I'm kind of skeptical to put it in my own house, so it's out in the car. So but I'll have to take a picture of it and post it, and I'll have to send it to y'all because you'll be like, yeah, if anything was haunted, it's that thing.
There's a puppet at my mom's shop that I'm like, that thing needs to go. Like, it and I don't vibe at all. I'm like, Mama, get that thing out of your shop.
Yeah, I'm kind of, before I started the show, I didn't really believe in haunted objects as much, but I've heard so many stories about haunted objects now that I'm like, okay, well, there's got to be something to this. But I'm still on the fence, so we'll see. I don't know. I'll fuck around and pick one up for the night house, and then I'll find out for sure.
You ain't going to bring it in your house, but you'll bring it in the night house.
Yeah. Well, my house, I have enough things going on in my own house as it is. Transient spirits coming and going. But so with Maggie Mansion,
hey, me too.
Did the owners live there? Because that's the question I get all the time about the night house.
No,
they don't. So is it just for paranormal or history or weddings or
all of the above? It's like they're trying. I think they're trying to go the route of the Airbnb. Last we knew, but yeah, they do like small weddings and bridal showers and teas and like the haunted dinner parties. And yes, the paranormal teams can rent it out for the night and all that stuff. So a little bit of everything.
Yeah. What are some of the claims? I know you're talking about some of the spirits there with them throwing dolls and things, but what are some of the other claims? Kind of the normal footsteps, voices, things.
They would always see, well, almost like the stone tape theory, just kind of like the same thing over and over and over again. And the owner, Denise, she doesn't know for sure. Like, she has dug up like all the history of this place, and she suspects that it was part of the Underground Railroad, but she's not able to confirm that. And so she's just kind of thinking there's this really quick black shadow that comes out of one room and into the kitchen and down the hall and then disappears. And it happens over and over and over again. That's like one of the main claim. And the first time we ever investigated it, 3 of our investigators, when we went in, I was the only one that knew like everything, all the paranormal, because I wanted the team to go in and just kind of verify a few things. And they verified 3 different people, verified seeing this shadow. So, I mean, that's one of the bigger claims there. And then another claim there is a little kid. And we think that we've made contact with them, but we're not really sure. And whoever's in the basement, or not basement, but the attic, it's a man. We don't know if it's Frank or who it is, but they don't like people in the attic with them, especially females. Can you think of anything else, Buffy?
Let's see, the shadow's been a lot more active downstairs lately. It's the kid. It's more than one kid. It seems like it's 2 boys running around.
Which it was a school for boys. That's what it opened up first, like when the Trans-Montana Academy was a school for boys. It was first chartered school in Sumner County. So that would track.
That would be the main ones that nails it. There's some moments when it seems like maybe we're kind of contacting some of the former workers from the property. They did have some servants there and nannies, but those communications seem few and far between. So that's super questionable on if that's who they are or not. But Barbie has nailed like the main ones that we've gotten.
Yeah.
One thing that we've just kind of uncovered as time went is, and Eric, you might notice this from like certain places that you investigate and they get more comfortable with you. More family members tend to come through, and that's been happening a lot at Maggie, not just with us, but with like guests at like the haunted dinner parties. It just seems like every single time we do one now, somebody from somebody's family's coming through. It's wild to me, and I don't know, like, and it's only happened, I guess, at Maggie for us. It doesn't happen. Well, Thomas House too. Thomas House tends to do that as well.
Yeah, and just clarify for the audience, you're talking about the guests who are there, their family members coming through, not family members of who live there, but the guests are bringing their own spirits with them that are coming through.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And something about the energy or something that of the locations. I don't know how to explain it.
I don't know if I don't know if word gets out in the spirit world. Hey, they're having all these things here, you know. And like if you want to communicate with your loved one, you got to hitchhike with them. But I found that with Thomas House as well, because I've been at Thomas House many times doing the public ghost hunts, and at the Night House, the longer we go on, we've had several people who the only thing we could figure out, or it was blatantly obvious through the equipment, that it was a family member, it wasn't somebody that was from the Night House history or the area.
Yeah, I guess the more energy you leave of your own behind, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why it does that.
I don't know. That's just something I've noticed. Like I said, with owning the Night House for the past year and a half, has been that I didn't really think about that before. Like I said, it's happened at the Night House. I have the Thomas House when I've been there, but it wasn't something that was like on a regular basis, but it happened a few times. But yeah, definitely at the Night House, I've seen it happen several times now, and it seems like you said, the longer you do it, the more it becomes, I don't know, like maybe a beacon or something for them. And so they're like, hey, this is my opportunity to let my loved one know I'm good, you know?
Maybe. I think, Buffy, correct me if I'm wrong, your dad tends to come through a lot at Smith County.
He likes to close out the night there.
The grand finale.
Yeah, everybody's just the opening act for him until the end.
Yeah, like it never it would always, without fail, we would be like getting very tired and time to wrap it up, and Dad's like, wait a minute, hold up,
but wait, there's more.
He did that Smith County, and he's done that to us at Octagon.
Yeah. That's interesting that's when he chooses his moment, is at the end of the night.
Oh, every time. It never fails. Every time. He's like, okay, wait.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like, at least he's polite about it. He like waits till the end of the night instead of like, bogarting the whole night.
Trying to dominate everybody else's time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to scooch in right here. I'm just going to scooch.
He did have one night, though. There was that one night, though, at Smith County. I know we talked about this one the other night, that when we were all together, that one night at Smith County, that he decided he was going to throw some symptoms on me, affect me.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured out, because there's an entity that is at Smith County Courthouse that is, he's mean. He's a jerk. It's not
he's an asshole.
Mean. He's a jerk. Yes, he's just a jerk. And he was being an extra huge asshole that night. And my daughter and I were both there. Morgan and I were both there for that investigation. And Morgan and I both weren't getting anything under Estes. And we usually she and I both usually get a ton. And we finally figured out, like, I think the only thing she got was, I got you. And what we figured out is my dad had to have been blocking everything. He wouldn't let Jeff, the dude at Smith County Courthouse that's a jerk, near Morgan and I. Meanwhile, that whole time, Jeff is doing nothing but bugging the crap out of Barbie and backing her up into a wall.
That was fun.
Like, that was Barbie's like getting the crap kicked out of her, and I'm like running after Barbie and telling Jeff to back off her, and Dad's over here like, you guys, you're not going to mess with my daughter and granddaughter. And like, yeah, Dad and I had a talk on the way home that night.
Crazy.
It's okay. I'm good.
Well, at least he's being protective, you know. So if there ever is anything nasty,
that's him. That's how he is.
Yeah. So now let's talk about the night house, because y'all have experienced it a few times now. So a few months ago, y'all came in and had your own night at the night house all night, and then a couple weeks ago we did a public ghost hunt that y'all come and helped me with, and I appreciate that. And what are y'all's thoughts on the night house?
She haunted. It's charming though. Like, it's a charming, welcoming, calm atmosphere. Like, I'm not scared there. Like with like Thomas House, like when I first get there, I'm like, I'm kind of afraid of it. But I mean, it's never been that way since the first day we ever stepped foot. It was just like welcoming, you know. But she has stories to tell for sure.
She does still have a lot of stories to tell.
Yeah, and I feel like we're starting to get them to open up to tell them.
I think so too, and I think like the more we go, you know, because we definitely want to go probably a couple times next year, and just like get to know the house a little bit more, and let them get to know us. Because, you know, when we went to bed, I mean, I think you all heard me. It was like 3 a.m. I'm like, all right, y'all, we've had enough. You got to let us go to sleep now, please. You know, and they left us alone, because at the end of the night, everybody was outside still, and I was inside just kind of sitting on that chair in the foyer, and that lock rattled in the room that Buffy and I stayed in. And that's what prompted me to have this conversation with them. So they're very nice, you know, and they're courteous and considerate of their house guests.
And they're also tricksters, and I love that, and I'm here for
They are, yes. That basement, though, I think is the most active. I mean, the times that we've investigated your house, the basement has seemed to be like the hottest spot for us.
And that's interesting because for me, when I'm investigating other people, it's other places in the house, like the attic. To me, the attic's one of the most active places, or the parlor. You know, and now the basement has come alive. The parlor to me
is very curious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the parlor is interesting, trying to figure out who's in there hanging out all the time.
Yeah. Every time I walk in the parlor, it's just a very curious feeling. I stood in the house when I got there on Saturday. I stood in the house. I was by myself in the house. And I stood in the parlor just talking to the room, talking to the spirits, you know, hey, hello, you know, saying hello again. And I'm back after having been, you know, around the weekend prior for Goblin Con. And I turned around back facing towards the entrance to the, you know, the entrance and the kitchen back that way. And when I stepped back around looking into the parlor, the room went wavy on me. And I was like, okay, are you as curious of me as I am of you? And everything just felt curious.
Yeah.
It's like, the parlor is still very much, I think the parlor, is going to be kind of the last one to open up.
Yeah, I think so. You know, we always do personal logs after every investigation. And going along with what Buffy just said, I wrote this on June 21st of this year. It's just a little excerpt from it. Overall, the house feels really welcoming and curious. Most of our interactions seem to be with a male presence. He seemed intelligent and aware of our presence. The main level had more of a feminine energy, maybe tied to Jordina. Possibly, you know, she's still there. The parlor in the basement, on the other hand, had a distinctly masculine feel. Whoever's in the parlor came across as cautious, but also seemed like they had a playful jokester side. It could just be one or two entities. We're not sure. I get the sense it'll take a few more visits to really get them to open up to us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it all just kind of, everything we just said, like, it's weird. I wrote this back in June. So that's crazy.
Yeah. On October 25th, we had the public ghost hunt, the second time y'all investigated.
Yep.
Talking to a medium friend of mine who has told me a lot about the house that has been true, that he doesn't know, he's never been there, lives in Florida. Mark Elliott Fultz. I don't have any other reason. I have to believe him. He's proven himself to me, right? And he told me that we're awakening spirits in the house that have been there, but not really at the forefront. They're just kind of hanging out. And now that we're going in and seeking them out and want to talk to them, they're kind of gaining energy and finding their voice as a spirit to communicate with us. And so he said, don't be surprised if we have several more come out of the woodwork that have never shown up before. But because they're gaining strength, they're going to come out and talk to us more and make their presence more known. And I think we saw that this with that public ghost hunt on the 25th. Especially with what y'all found with the communication that Syncate was having in the parlor.
Yeah, with yes.
With the spirit coming out and saying, I've been here for 50 years, and come to find out, October 5th, 1975 is when W. Rogers Jr. died.
Yep.
And he was the owner of the house. He was the father of the Rogers, who owned the house from 1948 until 2014. And so that, to me, is beyond coincidence to get that specific 50 years.
I agree.
Only 20
yeah,
days from when he died. Yeah. That's pretty incredible to me.
And how they said that they passed from either, a stroke or like lung collapse or failure. And then you're like, well, I mean, we can't find the exact cause of death, just that he had died after several months of a long illness. I mean, I'm with you. But I'm with you. It's beyond coincidence at that point that there's so many different things lined up. And I think you were saying like that's the first time. If that is him, it's the first time he's come through.
And I had seen his death date before, but it wasn't something that sticks in my head. It's not something I talk about on tour, or even say that or I even had it memorized that he died October 5th, 1975, which I do now because it sticks way out now.
Yeah, it does. How history just kind of opened up to us in that way. And I think you were saying too, like there's a new spirit in the basement, the 15-year-old boy that was, we were playing marbles with him and Cinque was doing a really good job. And one of our ITC devices came across and as she was playing marbles and it said attack. And that's kind of like a word in gameplay for marbles. And so Cinque was like, oh, well, you can take the big marble if you want it. And then one of our cat balls just completely disappeared.
And I'll look for it this coming weekend, but it didn't show back up last weekend on Sunday. So we'll see. It'll show up.
Crazy.
But we'll see when it does and where it does. But see, that's something else that came from my medium friend. He's the one that told me about the boy in the basement. He's around 15 years old. He likes to play marbles, and he sent me that bag of marbles that's on the pool table. And he said, if you use him as a trigger object, he will interact with you. And so,
oh, wow.
And then we get with this EVP I'm fixing to play. If people haven't seen it online on the Night House's Facebook page, it's up there. I made a little video, just to show when the EVP is and stuff, and trying to make it look professional. But I did nothing to this audio. This is exactly. I did not amplify it. I haven't touched it. This is exactly how it was recorded. And so you'll hear me talk about the marbles, and then you'll hear a voice. So we'll go ahead and play it a couple times. I've got a whole bag of marbles over there that you can play with. Just let me know if you'd like me to get some of them out of the bag. Play it again here. I've got a whole bag of marbles over there that you can play with. Just let me know if you'd like me to get some of them out of the bag. So that voice saying no, we did not hear it. And I mean, it was a public ghost hunt. So I had, 6 other people in the room with me that were quiet. Nobody heard that. And then also the paranormal couple was in my group. So another investigative team who can't explain it either. And, it's just, that's one of the best EVPs I've ever caught. Especially as loud as it is. That's almost never happens. It's usually a whisper.
I just can't get over like the vocal, like the tone. It's got beef to it,
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it's really strong. Yeah.
For the first timers, we had several first timers at that public event, and they got to hear the grail of EVPs for that one.
Yeah, and I've got another one that we recorded down in the basement there. So y'all had set a K2 up on, there's a mantle in the basement leaning up against the wall. And y'all had set a K2 meter up there. And for anybody that doesn't know what a K2 is it's the things you see on TV. They hold in their hands and it has the lights that go from green up to orange with higher EMF. Well, my back was to it because I was standing at the edge of the pool table. And they kept, the people that I was investigating with, they kept telling me that behind my back, the K2 kept spiking and going up and down and up and down. But every time I turned around and looked at it, it wouldn't do anything. It would stop. Every time. I turned around probably 10 times, it stopped. But there's another EVP that we call it that's a whisper, but it sounds like a woman's voice saying they're behind you. And so I found that interesting when they're telling me that the K2 keeps going off, but I turn around, it stops. And then we get the woman saying they're behind you. And it's not as strong as this one, but it's still, it's still a full sentence there that shouldn't be there. We also caught another EVP in the attic of when we were asking questions that nobody's walking. Everybody's just still. Y'all are in the basement and you can hear the heel to toe click of 3 footsteps walking away from us. That's what it sounds like. The first one's loud,
That's
then it gets
wild.
soft, and it's real soft. The last one. Yeah. So all around, everybody had pretty incredible nights and the spirits showed out for sure.
I think so. And it's like, if anybody was skeptical that night, they left a believer, I would say.
Yeah, it's just that crazy. I'll play this one more time. I've got a whole bag of marbles over there that you can play with. Just let me know if you'd like me to get some of them out of the bag. So yeah, I'm still in awe that we caught that. That is crazy. And just so everybody know that I record with my cell phone. And so I have a Samsung cell phone and they have a voice recorder app that works amazingly well. And I like it because it has a waveform on it. So you can watch it as you're recording, asking questions, and we leave 10, 20 seconds for them to answer. And that actually was a huge bump on that waveform because you can see my giant waveform for me talking, my booming voice. And then you see an actual jump on there. And that's when I was like, bookmark, we're going back to listen to that for sure. But also, the house started out crazy too, because several times I'd seen a shadow back go from the master bedroom across the doorway to the purple room on the ground floor. And to the point that Buffy was back there one time and I went back there to see if it was her, and it was her that walked by, but I'd seen it a couple of times before. And then I think it was me and you, Barbie, we were standing in the foyer. Nobody else was in the house. And I walked back there because I heard what sounded like a man cough. And so it was just, and then it continued on Sunday. We stayed there. Me and Roger stayed all day Sunday and Sunday night because we had some photographers coming in to do with a model, Halloween photo shoot. And which those pictures will be out here soon on the Night House. But I went into the bathroom that's in our office area and come out, and that balloon light was turned on. Well, that thing's been sitting there.
Oh, that's wild. Yeah.
Or more. It's been in the office on the desk longer than that. I think I moved it the other day and set it where it is on the video on the computer. But those things are really hard to twist to get the battery to connect for it to come on because they bounce around inside a balloon, I guess. And so to come out and that thing is just flashing all the different colors. And went, all right, then I gotta record this and put it online, especially after what happened. And the team that was in the house the previous Friday night, because we did the public ghost hunt on Saturday, that Friday night they're putting together a video now of all they caught. Apparently they had a great night too. So just a crazy weekend.
Yeah, and we had our Zoom recorders going. We were doing like live EVP listening, and I think I may have caught something when we first got up there. And then Buffy and Chaz were up there and they were hearing something. And so we marked the recorders. So I still need to go back and listen to all that. But if we find anything, we'll definitely send it your way.
I'll put it up for sure. But thank y'all again for helping with the public ghost hunt. It was a blast. I can't wait to do it again.
We've already gotten like messages. Hey, I hate that it was sold out. When are you doing it again? And we kind of shared that with you. And so, yeah, we definitely need to get another date on the books.
Yeah, I think we're going to go with sometime in January because I know you said you're really busy in December.
I know.
And y'all are busy overall in December. But, it's a crazy time of year for everybody with the holidays. So I think we'll wait until maybe the second week of January if you are available, and we'll go ahead and get one on the books. And I think we're gonna do dinner and a ghost hunt for that one. So
we all love food, don't we?
Yeah. I didn't get this fat hating food. So
it's kind of like before an investigation, we're on Discord and we're like, so let's talk about what's really important. What's for dinner? Where are we needing to eat?
Where are we eating and what time?
We did that last weekend because we went to O'Charlie's. So the four of us went to O'Charlie's, so we did the same thing last weekend.
Yeah,
but,
you don't want hangry, investigators.
Almost late to the public hunt because we had to go eat.
We had to go stuff our faces with rolls and butter.
It's not a good idea because then if you're using like the Zoom recorder for live EVP, you can hear everybody's stomachs going blah, 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 or sound like Star Wars, like pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, I know.
Because your body's digesting everything because you're so full.
Listen, I come in equipped for that. My pack out or my bag, all of it. Part of my essential paranormal investigating gear is gas X and Tums every time.
I think I need to add some gas X.
Stays with it.
There's been some investigations that I did some bad things after eating. I probably could have used some gas X.
Decisions.
Yeah.
It is a part of my gear. I will put it with my gear, and I just look at everybody and go, it's with my gear. If you need it, just don't ask. Just go grab it.
I don't need to know what your stomach is doing.
Yeah.
You don't even have to be on our team. I will just tell people with us as a collective, if you need it, there it is. And go.
From now on, when I investigate with y'all, Buffy's going to be my gas X dealer.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, my gear, like my pack out or my backpack, all of that, it is the mom bag.
It is
everyone. So
it's like the rolling Walgreens at your service.
I'm gonna go up to Buffy and be like, "Come on, Buffy, you got some good cherry chew gas X."
That is probably what is in there. I would, yes.
Behind the scenes of ghost hunting. You heard it here, folks.
Yes, it is important. Snacks are important, but taking care of those snacks also.
So this is going to come out in November. So what do y'all have coming up for the end of November and into December?
So this is when, like, after Halloween is when, like, everything slows down for us. So in November and December, we're going to Old South. We're helping out Old South with their public hunt. And that's really the only thing that we have on the books for November and December, unless I'm missing something.
I think that's it, unless we throw something last minute out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's typically, with the holidays with Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that stuff, New Year's and Hanukkah and all the different holidays for people. It's kind of hard to do all that stuff.
Holidays.
So,
yeah, it really is. And just for us, like Chad and TK have, their kids still live at home and, and Buffy's got grandkids and, so, I mean, we're just kind of, the holidays are, they're kind of busy for everybody.
Yeah. Well, thank y'all so much for coming on and chatting.
It was so much fun. We love you.
I love y'all too. I'm excited to see what we're going to do. I'm just going to put this out there. We're also talking about teaming up with a paranormal couple. If y'all don't know them, go follow them. They're awesome. Shannon and Amy are amazing. But I'm excited to see what we're going to do with all of us together. It'll be something incredible for sure.
It really is. Like, I think like all of us piled in the night house, it just, the energy was just palpable,
Yeah.
And I think we're going to do great things together.
Yeah. I've got some ideas, so we'll talk about that off of the air.
Yay.
But thank you to Buffy and Barbie from NightSong Paranormal. Y'all be sure to go follow them on Facebook and check out what they got going on. And whenever they do events, go hit them up. They like to do events, and they do awesome events as well. But thank you for tuning in today, and y'all stay safe out there. We'll see you next time. All right. Thank you for tuning in to the show today. Please go follow us on the Facebooks and the Instagrams and the TikToks under the Unseen Paranormal. And please go check out the Night House, the haunted location that I own, historic haunted location. And go grab a copy of Small Town Haunts and Legends of Tennessee and be looking for my 2 new books to come out sometime next year. But thank you for tuning in. Going to do something a little different today than our normal ending. I've had a huge request for me to play the entire theme song for the show from my good friend Chris Lips, who sadly passed away a few years ago. So today I'm going to play the entire song for y'all. So enjoy.